For those of you that love talking about animals, from Sci News, Albertadromeus, smallest plant-eating dinosaur known from Canada. Paleontologists from the United States and Canada have described a new species of dinosaur named Albertadromeus sintarsis, the smallest herbivorous dinosaur known from Canada. And now, from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guide Live Prehistoric News. Hit that subscribe button so we can dive right back into the prehistoric news of the day. Come on, guys. This wasn't a redundant title. You could have simply said Albertadromeus, the Smurf of Canada. That would have worked. Anyway, let's keep going. This looks to be some member of the Thescalosaurian lineage of herbivore dinosaurs. This lineage of dinosaurs never reached much more than 8 to 9 feet in length, or pushing around 3 meters, and probably didn't weigh much more than like 80 to 90 pounds, or a little over 40 kilograms. Albertadromeus sintarsis lived in what is now southern Alberta in the late Cretaceous about 77 million years ago. It was identified from partial hind leg and other skeletal elements that indicate it was a speedy runner. The creature was about 5 feet or 1.6 meters long and weighed 30 pounds or around 16 kilograms, comparable to a large turkey. So, um, this was a smaller species of Thescalosaur, despite the family not reaching any large sizes. Many tend to confuse the Thescalosaurid lineage of dinosaurs as a group of ornithopod dinosaurs, or possibly even a branch of the just earlier iguanodontids. And the truth is that these animals first evolved around 160 million years ago during the late Jurassic, and had already created their own branch of Neo-Ornithischian dinosaurs. Yet they would still cling on until the end of the Cretaceous around 66 million years ago. So this is a family of dinosaurs where animals such as Heterodontosaurus, um, let's see, and Oreodromeus come from. Albertadromeus sintarsis means Alberta runner with fused foot bones. It's quite interesting considering many species of dinosaur coming from Alberta tend to have a very athletic build, also meant for running. Unlike its much larger ornithopod cousins, the duck-billed dinosaurs, its two fused lower leg bones would have made it a fast, agile two-legged runner. Also, certain species of iguanodon, not well, ornithopod in general did have the ability to run on two legs, just not very fast, probably not exceeding 20 to 25 miles an hour, especially with the larger 5-ton species. This species is the smallest known plant-eating dinosaur in its ecosystem, and the team hypothesizes that it used its speed to avoid predation by the many species of meat-eating dinosaurs that lived at the same time. Well, it definitely would have to. It's like just simply a calorie supplement for something like a Daspletosaurus at the time. Since this is around 77 million years ago, you also had tyrannosaurs like Albertosaurus running around Canada at this point, as well as different species of dromaeosaur that definitely wouldn't have filled up a pack of 30 to 40-pound predators. Definitely would make a good snack. Anyway, let's take a look at some other creatures. So, this is not a dinosaur from Canada, but in fact, Argentina. This is Zupasaurus. And Zupasaurus existed in Argentina around 210 million years ago during the late Triassic period. So, this was shortly after the more famous Coelophysis had evolved in the United States, which was somewhere around 213 million years ago. And Zupasaurus was much larger. Coelophysis was a probably 80 to 90-pound individual. The Zupasaurus could reach over 18 feet in length, or pushing around 5 meters, and weigh over 800 pounds, or a little over 400 kilograms. So, this was one of the largest species of carnivores to exist at this point. It probably did have competition with different species of Herrerasaur at this point, but more likely different species of crocodilomorph and other types of archosaur that existed in Lake Triassic Argentina. Zupasaurus, it's been a huge debate as to what family of theropod this animal belonged to. Was it a member of the Coelophysid lineage, or was it a member of the Dilophosauridae lineage, which consisted of animals such as Dilophosaurus? Also, when you look at the smaller crest of this animal, it does seem to have a more Dilophosaur sort of a trait. Not that certain coelophysids didn't have a small sort of a crest. Now, these two individuals are very skinny. The skull in general, though, isn't it's not that bad. His tongue, though, shouldn't be sticking out like this. It should just be completely flat. Arms maybe slightly more muscular, but the Dilophosaurs wouldn't say they had the most muscular arms when it came to the theropods, but it was still quite heavily built for its time. This individual is a bit off. It's got that like Jurassic Park raptor model arm. And the arm, especially the hand, should be facing towards each other and not extended out like this. Now, when it comes to his face, the skull, I mean, not the skull, the crest seems a bit large, but the skull in general is okay. It's like somebody took Jurassic Park raptor model and just stuck him in the middle. Anyway, this is interesting. They're giving this animal feathers. A lot more reconstructions of different species of Triassic theropod carnivorous dinosaurs are portrayed with feathers in recent times. So let's head back to the article. The known dinosaur diversity of the late Cretaceous of North America is dominated by large body plant eating dinosaurs. Why are so few small body dinosaurs known from the region some 77 million years ago? Smaller animals are less likely to be preserved than larger ones because their bones are more delicate and are often destroyed before being fossilized. Well, this is an interesting question. I think the answer that was put for it is a bit odd, considering they're having a wide range of different species of small dinosaur that have been preserved, a wide range of small species of mammal. During the Mesozoic, the average mammal was the size of harvester mouse. So let's see, what's another thing? Small species of pterosaurs, and then you also have the wide variety of insects, and not just that, different species of plants that are preserved as well, possibly even fungi, and different species of insects, all of which are, you could say, somewhat delicate. But definitely the plants. There's a wide range of them that are preserved. I would say the better theory might be is that it was just simply too harsh of a landscape for small creatures like the Albertadromeus to eke a living. Um, uh, Basing it off of how delicate their bones would be for fossilization, I think is a bit. Um, it's just not a good representation for it. So let's keep going. We know from our previous research that there are preservational biases against the bones of these small dinosaurs. We are now starting to uncover this hidden diversity, and although skeletons of these small ornithopods are both rare and fragmentary, our study shows that these dinosaurs were more abundant in their ecosystems than previously thought. Um, it's mentioning that they're ornithopods. I believe that they're their own distinct group. Um, let's see. Oh, well, this is like the average or, well, slightly smaller Thescalosaurid, but here are the distinct tooth shape of an herbivore. This is what you see in different species of sauropod dinosaurs, the long necks, especially in different animals such as Diplodocus. This is a very distinct tooth shape, replicating that of something that's feeding a lot of different species of ferns. And this Thescalosaurid is most likely feeding on a wide range of different species of flowers, maybe even feeding on roots as well. Oh, yeah, and here's the back molars too. So let's head back to another species of animal. So this individual existed much earlier in the Cretaceous period, also in Canada, which is interesting because, oh, well, first, this is Tenontosaurus, which is often mentioned from different areas of the United States. It's been discovered in different parts of Texas, Wyoming, Utah, Maryland, but it also has been found in Alberta as well. It existed in Canada around 110 million years ago and was probably the food source for different species of carnosaur at this time, like Acrocanthosaurus, but probably younger individuals. Tenontosaurus did not reach much more than 20 feet in length, around 6 meters, and probably weighs around 2,000 to 2,500 pounds, or a little over 1,000 kilograms. So, for even a guanodontid at this point, which is what Tenontosaurus was, it was medium sized. It wasn't a very large individual. Probably feeding on some of the earliest species of flowers to evolve, younger conifer trees, probably feeding on different species of ginkgos as well as ferns, making a substantial part of its diet. and probably also living in small herds, probably 20 individuals. So let's head back to the article. Albertadromeus may have been close to the bottom of the dinosaur food chain, but without dinosaurs like it, you'd not have giants like T Rex. Our understanding of the structure of dinosaur ecosystems is dependent on the fossils that have been preserved. Fragmentary but important specimens like that of Albertadromeus suggest that we are only beginning to understand the shape of dinosaur diversity and the structure of their communities. We've come a long way, even though this is an older article, we've come quite a long way from understanding how dinosaur social structures work. When you're looking at the discoveries that are being made in the 1970s, 1980s, with hadrosaurs and nests being found of them, especially of animals such as Maiasaura. Then shortly later on, with the massive graveyards of ceratopsians like centrosaurs, and then you have all these trackways from sauropod dinosaurs. So we do have quite a bit of info of different species of herbivores being quite social, and probably even different behaviors that we can identify from just simply the footprints. So, but stating that this animal would have been important to the food chain, and that if it got taken away from the food chain, we've had an impact on creatures like T Rex. It's making it out like this is a keystone species, which is a bit of an overused term. Um, it wouldn't have much of an impact on animals like even the dromaeosaurs or the raptors existed with it at the time, so they would have been okay. But anyway. You can imagine such small dinosaurs filling the niche of animals such as rabbits and being major but relatively inconspicuous members of their ecological community. I think why it's somewhat comparing it to rabbits is because certain species of Thescelosaur, like Oreodromeus, have been found in burrows, so indicating that these animals had a burrow-like system. And there are quite a few mammals today that make burrows: prairie dogs, burrowing owls. That's not a mammal. Um, badgers. So, um, but yeah, I think if something like, let's say, uh,
Wait, did you say burrowing owls?
well, they exist in the prairies of North America, so
They
they,
they burrow?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they coexist with bison, prairie dogs, wolves in different regions. Um, Sometimes badgers steal their burrows. Anyway, let's see. Where was it getting at? Yeah, when it comes to rabbits, yeah. So let's say like a dromaeosaurus decided they're going to exterminate the Albertadromeus because they find it as like a pest. The ecosystem would be fine, but I I would send a search party of Albertosaurs to get rid of that pack. Anyway, so this is another species of ankylosaur from Canada. So this is Euoplocephalus, which is a close relative of the later species or more famous genus Ankylosaurus, as well as Anodontosaurus. This animal roamed Alberta around 75 million years ago, so coexisted with medium sized tyrannosaurs as well, and could reach somewhere around 20 feet in length. Um, there have been some larger estimates, but it's usually around 6 meters and probably weigh somewhere between 2 to 3 tons. And it was one of the most heavily armored ankylosaurs to evolve. I mean, outside of the Mongolian Tarkia, as well as the later Maastrichtian Cretaceous ankylosaurs, it was very heavily built and protected. There's also a certain bone on the top of its eye and that indicate it would have had a somewhat armored exterior part of the eye. And this is not unique to ankylosaurs only. You can find this on certain species of thescelosaurids, such as the Heterodontosaurus. I'm not sure if we have any evidence for Albertadromeus, but as well as certain marine reptiles, like even the pliosaurs. I even believe Pliosaurus itself. So, as well as different areas of the legs, it still, this is a very unique trait to Euoplocephalus, had somewhat spike-like osteoderms towards the shoulder areas and even the upper neck and along the sides of its face compared to other species of the ankylosaur lineage, which tend to have quite sort of a smooth type of an armory. Now, this is a skeleton of a Euoplocephalus, so definitely like along the um, cheek range and the upper part of the skull, heavily armored. Now, because the eye sockets are quite small compared to its body size, even when looking at different species of ankylosaur, it still had a somewhat decent sense of peripheral vision, so seeing out to the sides, even a better view behind it. However, there were certain claims that this animal would have had a very um, good sense of smell. But there was some reanalysis done to the olfactory nerve of the brain, which is used for sense of smell. It's not very large in ankylosaur, especially Euoplocephalus. It does seem to be that they had a very good sense of hearing and hearing in low frequency sound, just like modern day elephants and even carnivores like T Rex. So, um,
Wait, how big were they?
so this animal was around 20 feet in length and could weigh somewhere between 2 to 3 tons. Um, certain there's certain theories that ankylosaurs might have been solitary animals, and there have been certain theories that they might have been quite social based on certain finds where there have been a cluster that found together. Anyway, let me know what your favorite species of Canadian dinosaur is. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know because nothing is better than all animals all the time.